A while back, you and I talked about life purpose. If you want to revisit that conversation, just check in the list of videos on the site, and I think you can find it under life purpose or something to that effect. I want to refine this just a little bit today, not to take any of it back, but really look at another area of how we spend our time, and that's in our occupations. The term burnout has come up recently in the news. I'm speaking to you in the spring of 2023. And burnout is discussed in the context of people who are genuinely dissatisfied with an important aspect of their life. Typically, it has to do with their occupation, their jobs, in other words. When we talked about life purpose, I tried to stress that we should try very hard not to define ourselves by our occupations alone. Men, probably more than women, tend to do this. And it's generally an indication that something profoundly is missing in our lives, or we're simply not recognizing the importance of our lives outside of our occupations. Now, that is not to say that our occupations are not important, though. They are. The term burnout, I think, refers to when we are, over a prolonged period, unhappy with what we're doing and we don't see light at the end of the tunnel. This is a rather sad situation if you think about it. If we feel that our job is an ordeal all the time, that all we do, all we have to look forward to is when we're off the clock, when we're done for the day, or when the weekend, our days off occur, and that the rest of our time at work is misery or drudgery, that really is unfortunate. Now, any job is going to have periods of stress and probably some bumps in the road when we're not happy for one reason or another. I think burnout is more likely to occur when we don't see any improvement on the horizon, when we feel that we're stuck in that position forever. And forever is a long time, and I'm using quotes here because obviously it isn't really forever, but it's a big chunk of our lives that we spend at work, most of us anyhow, and it's therefore important that we find a way forward out of our misery if, in fact, we don't see any other way out. We do this by carefully planning for our future. What are we going to do next, occupation-wise, to make a living? After all, this is a practical necessity for most people, for most of us, and we're going to have to do it one way or another. But we should strive to find something that we can be happy with, because so much of our lives is taken up by our occupation, typically, and life is too short to be miserable over the long term. So my advice this day is to look at your occupation, whatever it is. And by the way, if you've chosen to be living at home and working at home, I kind of hate the archaic term, but I have to use it because I can't think of a better one. If you're a homemaker, but you really enjoy doing that, that's okay. Don't let society shame you into something else. What you're doing is necessary, it's important, perhaps one of the most, if not the most important occupation there is, especially if there's a family involved. So do what you want to do, consistent with what you're able to do throughout your skill set, your education, your financial needs. But look to improving that situation or changing it if you're constantly feeling burned out or unhappy or depressed by it. Again, too much time in our lives is spent making a living to be perpetually miserable in the pursuit of it. Find good balance in your life. Understand that your occupation does not define you, but nonetheless it's important to your happiness. And that, after all, is a key element in successfully negotiating and getting through life with as much of the gifts of life as possible. And believe me, we need set no boundaries on the gifts of life. All we need do is be conscious of how we can go about them honestly and sincerely, and I dare say with the help of God. Thank you.